Hey, it's Agnes and Vishwish. This is your requested YouTube. You asked about reducing anger. Okay, really good question, because I think, especially those of you that are in the situations with specific people or exes or loved ones that you're in relationship with, this seems to be an area where the anger does come up quite a lot, around jealousy, around suspicion, around I'm not getting what I want, around being rejected, around them not responding. I'm getting a lot of emails and comments about that at the moment. So anger is a very good subject. Now, when we get angry, again, following on from the previous YouTube, we are interpreting that we are not getting something that we want, and we're getting something that is not to our liking, and therefore it brings up negative emotions such as anger. So what do you do with it? A very good question. Now, I think that the things that have definitely worked for me personally, I used to say to myself, I'm a fire sign in astrology, so I just get angry easily. So for starters, stopping saying those kind of things and comments about yourself, or I get angry all the time, or I never get what I want, it's changing those thoughts, repetitive thoughts, which are then beliefs. So changing those, no longer saying them out loud, and then no longer thinking them. And in the case of all those other situations, such as jealousy, being rejected, and all the other ones I just mentioned, if you do meditation, meditation brings you back down to balance. Okay, it lets you let out through the breathing negative emotion. Now, if you do it daily, what starts to happen is you don't get angry as easily because you've let stuff out. Okay, it's like the breathing is a cleansing. And then when something happens, you don't fly into that so quickly because you're not so tightly wound. Okay, so meditation, also getting plenty of sleep. I know that's obvious, but the more tired you are, the more your emotions come to the surface, especially anger, because it's like people want stuff of you and you don't have anything to give, and you don't want to give, or someone has done something and it's not to what you want and not to your liking. You are then more able to be an adult and accept the no. Okay, so yeah, just a few little tips. Also, with anger, a lot of physical exercise has been incredibly helpful for me. Running, for those of you that like higher levels of exercise, you can box, you can do any sort of high energy sport, basketball or volleyball, or just anything that just blows it out. Because I think the more you just blow it out and you don't store it in your body, obviously the better for your health that is, because anger and any negative emotion trapped and stored in the body starts over time to create health issues. Okay, so remember also, you are human. Being angry sometimes is okay. It's just launching it and flaming people with it that's probably not the go. It's about taking responsibility and doing something with it. Also, writing it out is a wonderful, wonderful tool. Just write towards the person or situation that has inflamed your anger, and just keep on writing, saying everything you have to say until it runs out, and you eventually just go, because the relief kicks in. Okay, so that's a really good one too. And also looking at how you've interpreted things. So maybe I haven't interpreted this correctly, Maybe I have assigned something to it that isn't true. So have a look at your interpretation of things. Now, there was some time ago a great little 5-part series by a guy called, what was his name? Marty Lethko. And he and Joe Vitale, who wrote Zero Limits and The Attractor Factor, Joe Vitale went to him about changing beliefs and about specifically how he interpreted things. Now, this short little series is fantastic for those of you that haven't seen it, about how to change your interpretation and actually how to understand that when you were little, as a child, you may have interpreted things in a certain way, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was true. Okay, now as an adult, that's easier to see, but as a child, you may have interpreted things in a certain way and then carried those interpretations into adulthood. So for those of you that haven't seen that, I'll post part 1, and then obviously the other parts you will see in the sidebar, so just follow through. It's really, really eye-opening, and it starts to make you shift and go, oh my God, where do I do that, and cause myself unnecessary stress. Okay, so I hope that helps. A little bit of tips for you around how to change things. Now, for today too, I revisited one of my absolute favorite Neville Goddard YouTubes. I used to use, I would have used it, goodness, at least 500 times. I would use it every single day, once to twice a day for months and months and months. And it is about helping you to live in the end of what you want. Okay, it's not very long, and he's incorporated 3 scenes. It's in Neville's own voice, which is so lovely to hear. And yeah, for those of you that want to practice a bit more living in the end, let's enjoy that together. I will post it in the description below. Okay.